Shabbat Shalom. Much better. That was perfect. Before we begin our Shabbat services, first of all, thank you for your bit of patience, and we're ready to enjoy an incredible dedication of our sanctuary. But in order to understand how we have arrived at this place, we wanted to just have a moment to look at this short video.
It's amazing. We look at that, and the world sees beautiful carpets and wonderful bricks and amazing decor and so much time spent that the Finsilvers and the Eisenbergs gave to us as a community. But this song frames it a little bit differently. Olam chesed yibaneh. The world is built with kindness, with chesed, with loving kindness. And in Judaism, we know that when we see each of those bricks or each of those carpets, or each of the upholstery, or anything you see here today in this beautiful new space, that it's not actually just a brick, it's a flow of love from these two families. So thank you to both of them. thank you not just with our words, but with this song. Repeat after me. Olam chesed yibaneh. That's it. It goes like this. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Try it with me. Olam chesed yibaneh. Beautiful. Ya la 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 la. Second part goes a little higher. Listen to this. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Try that with me. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. One more time. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Olam chesed up here. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la la. Sing so all the workers can hear you now. We will build this world from love. We will build this world from love. La 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 la. Once again, we will build this world. We will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. We will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. We will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. Last time, Olam chesed, every voice. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la. You sound beautiful. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
Now, I know you believe that that amazing video was created with time-lapse photography, but actually, this job, which was a 6-month job, was somehow miraculously completed in 6 weeks. That was actually how fast they were moving the whole time. We will talk a great deal about gratitude and love this evening, and so it is our very great pleasure to invite people that we love, Francis Eisenberg and Sherry Finsilver, to come forward to dedicate this space as they kindle these lights of Shabbat on page 13.
Light is the foundation of life and impossible to touch. Light is flowers growing and fruit trees blooming, photosynthesis and rainbows shimmering.
Light is energy and romance, enlightenment and lightning. Light is red and violet and magenta and blue, lasers and campfires, warmth and illumination, the sunset and the dawn. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav, V'tzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Service continues with the words of Lecha Dodi. We welcome the Sabbath Bride, page 34. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, לשבת, לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לשבת, לקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיע אלך מיוחד, אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושם תפארת ותהילה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה,
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. We rise together. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה, לך דודי, לך דודי, לך דודי, לך דודי.
In many ways, this renovation began with an amazing idea, which is that wouldn't it be wonderful if when people walked into the atrium, they could see the magnificent ark through glass doors. And then once you're doing glass doors, you may as well paint the wood, and once you're doing the wood, you may as well do the carpet, and once... But there was a problem because with glass doors, if there's a party out there or something, it might not be appropriate. So we came up with a solution, not me, but came up with a solution. Yeah, what do you mean we? You can flip a switch, and you can sort of check it out later. Flip a switch, electricity goes through the gas that's in the doors and makes it opaque. It's really amazing to watch. Right. The rabbis were like, oh, turn it on again, turn it on again. So I thought we would begin this service with the reading on page 22. And if I could just add a few additional lines. May the door of this synagogue sometimes be transparent and sometimes be opaque. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and anger. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, and this newly renovated sanctuary and atrium in Herman Hall, be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Service continues on page 42 with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'almad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'zman kahari ve'imeru amen yesh Rabba mevorach, yolam ulan mehal mahaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yitromam, v'yitnasei, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, ve'ela min kol berchata, v'shihirata, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה וימרו. We rise together, page 44. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai. Amevorach.
So every year at the end of the summer, when we move from having outdoor services to having indoor services, I usually die a little inside. Because for me and so many others, being in nature, praying in nature is something different than praying in a building. I love looking at patterns on trees and the clouds and everything while we sit with our arms around our family members and our friends and pray together in that outdoor space. But this year, this year I couldn't wait to get inside to bring that feeling of spectacular godliness in with us, because just as a lot of us feel extra spiritual when we're out among the trees and grass and living things, as this prayer teaches us on page 46, it's true that even man-made things can speak to God's holiness, as it's clear to all of us here in the sanctuary tonight. So we read together on the bottom of page 45. All that we see, the heaven, the earth, and all that fills it, all these things are the external garments of God. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall.
Continuing together on page 56. If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen.
Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way and listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Listen to our God. Listen to our God. As you're seated, we continue on page 57. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, בשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי,
והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
I don't know how many of you were at our first summer service all the way back in June. At the Michamocha point, I congratulated all the children for, becoming free for the summer. They made it, you did it. It's just like crossing the sea. It's exactly the same. But now, at the end of the summer, it is the parents I'm congratulating. You did it. You made it. You made it through the summer, and redemption is here. And we join together on page 62.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We read responsively on page 63. I am awake to myself and all others. I am awake to those who share my home. I am awake to an ancient text. I am awake.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות, את השבת לדורותם, לברית עולם. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת וינפש. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת וינפש. וביום השביעי, שבת, שבת וינפש. יא לה לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה.
Adonai sefatai tiftahu fiagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov. Ha'el hagadol, hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, gomel chasadim tovim, v'koneh ha'kol, v'zocher chasdei avot ve'imaot, u'mevii geula livnei bneihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
We join together at the bottom of page 69. Prayer invites us to let God's presence suffuse our spirits, to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently.
We turn to page 83 in our prayer books. We think of those in our families, our friends who are in need of healing. And this Shabbat, the Shabbat after the hurricane, we especially think of those southwest of here who are in need of a prayer. And I would like to share just a portion of a poem written that is on the URJ website if you'd like to read the whole thing. We send our love and our prayers to those in Texas. God of mystery and awe, grant us safety as the waters engulf our homes and our lives. Protect us, shield us, guard us. Grant peace to those in fear. Grant food and clothing, warmth and shelter to those in need. Bless emergency and rescue workers with the tools and skills they need as they risk their lives for the sake of our families, communities, and friends. Grant healing to those who are sick or injured and solace to the bereaved. Bless us with common sense throughout the squall and with kinship and cooperation when the storm passes. God of awe and wonder, our rock and our refuge, see us through the torrent, watch us through the days and nights, for comfort, security, and well-being, so that we may serve you and each other in love. We sing the Mishaberach together.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi Yesheberach Imotenu Nekor HaBeracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
This past Friday, there was an article in the Free Press about the closing of the Palace. For many of us, the Palace was a sports arena concert venue. And in the Jewish community, it was a very special place. Bill Davidson, David Hermelin, and Robert Sosnick, Aleim HaShalom of blessed memory, friends of so many of us, owners and developers, made the palace a place where the Jewish community spent a great deal of time, especially during the championship piston years. I recall taking a tour of the palace during construction with Bobby Sosnick, whose name at Temple is associated with the Family Life Center that he created. He pointed to the box seats, unheard of at the time, that were under construction. They had no idea if they would sell all of them. In fact, they were only building half of them at that time. The palace would change the way this type of facility was constructed around the world. Who could have imagined in our lifetime that the palace would be closed, probably torn down, and the land used for an industrial park? Buildings have a lifespan. Homes are demolished and new homes for the next generation are built. A friend told me of a letter that he received from a real estate developer asking him if he was interested in selling his land. No mention of the home he was still living in and enjoying. As an officer of Federation, I have been involved in conversations and watched as a major effort has been made to bring all of the properties owned by the community under a single umbrella. After 40 plus years, the buildings of the community are aging, in need of repair and of update. We are no longer moving and leaving and rebuilding on a regular basis. I want you to go back with me for a moment to Rosh Hashanah 1980, our first Rosh Hashanah in this sanctuary. I was on this bima. Of course, there were two podiums, if you recall. I was standing on that side. And after the opening prayer, which I offered, I sat down and said to my colleagues, Rabbi Syme and Rabbi Fromm, they did not come. I could not see any people sitting in the atrium. I imagine, I said to them, it's impossible. We were so worried about an overflow. And they decided not to show up for our opening high holiday service. It was only later that we discovered that sight lines did not exist. They were there. We could not see them. And more importantly, they could not see us. During the next several years, changes took place. We had video monitors in the atrium. And remember the bleachers we all sat on? And now we have arrived at a system that works for the holidays. I want you to know, when we built this sanctuary, this temple, we did something unique in Jewish history. We built a building that we could afford. Of course, we were influenced by the fact that Jimmy Carter was president, and the interest rates were creeping up to 22%. When we came to this location, we brought with us the windows and the ark. The wall behind me was flat, but wow, we were so incredibly excited to be in our new home. We moved from Detroit to West Bloomfield. We were a large congregation. It was never our goal. We would never have imagined that we would become the largest congregation as we are today in the Reform movement. The partnership between clergy, staff, and lay leaders created an environment where no rabbi has ever left. And these two cantors are going nowhere, thank goodness. And thanks to the upgrade in sound, physically, additions were made, and we're often asked, what was the difficulty, what was the challenge of dealing with growth? And I think the answer is that we learned how to manage growth. But our focus was direct. It was always on how to inspire our congregation, our congregants, in every generation to love being Jewish, to make Judaism so important, whether here or in Israel, wherever they might be living, to feel that sense of Jewish identity. Our sanctuary, the wall was changed. The front wall was transformed, as you see, into the splitting of the sea by the Deschel family. Our sanctuary was now able to use this for concerts and lectures with a beautiful piece of woven art that can be lowered in front of the ark. During services, there were hooks that you couldn't even see because we hung very large screens at times to project images from the back. I'm going to see how old you are. A far cry from me, standing in the back of the sanctuary, holding two controls, the slide projectors, moving the slides along to a video, a voiceover created by Rabbi Syme, myself, and Cantor Orbach. Now, it's time to consider this event here, which is truly magic. Now, for this, I'm going to say it is a reveal, but since I'm not really a magician, I'm going to take a moment. I feel compelled to describe to you and to answer questions that I've been asked. We knew that we needed to redesign this part of the building. Seats in the sanctuary required recovery. Our sound system was antiquated, lighting unable to provide the proper mood. Our atrium and our social hall were no longer inviting places for the community, for social events. Now, several things came together. We had a window of 7 weeks to begin and finish a project. If you have been involved in any redesign in your home, you recognize that this is not enough time to finish a powder room. I know from experience. A wonderful family, Sherry and past President Stanley Finsilver, with whom I feel I have grown up here at Temple Israel, opened the door to the possibility with a significant gift. Stanley was prepared to provide the magic, bringing his talent and his company into the process, believing construction could be accomplished in a limited time frame. And Sherry, we thank you for giving him to us every day he was in this building, supervising, working, pushing people along with a loving tone that made this all possible. He can now return to the lake and be peaceful. And on this weekend of Labor Day, so grateful to the men and women that he was able to bring in here and really encourage in the most positive way. To be here day and night at times, because they too saw this as holy work and wanted us to be able to accomplish this purpose. We had one significant donor and a design in process. Michelle Davis, also a member of our congregation, bringing her amazing talents to create the design for these two spaces that you see, and please go into the social hall, even if you're not looking forward to eating a cookie during the oneg. A decision needed to be made. There was a time constraint. And I had the good fortune to call dear friends Francis and Kenneth Eisenberg, and I asked if I could fly to Florida for a meeting. Stanley Finsilver joined me at their home, and after presenting the project said, if you join with us, providing funds for the atrium, I promise you that you will come into the sanctuary during the holidays and be able to see what your commitment has accomplished. The Eisenbergs, as they have been throughout our temple history and throughout the community, were gracious in giving, and a project, and I want you to understand this, that would have ended that day was given their blessing and their support, and we are grateful. Jennifer and Dan Gilbert Innovation Fund has enabled us to install cutting-edge technology, sound. Even for those of you hard of hearing, I want you to know under every seat there's some kind of wire that in a magical way will allow you to connect hearing aids and hear the service as beautifully, or turn us off if you like, without anyone being aware. Within a few weeks, the Goodman Family Judaic and Archival Museum will come to life in the atrium, with 4 large cases being built for us by the same company that is used by the Smithsonian. They had their order in before us, and so we are waiting in line. There are other changes that you're going to see in your temple. Sarah and Harold Gottlieb have provided the resources to add new classrooms to our building and a bridge to connect to the old. The generosity of donors is reflected in every corner of this building and also in the outside gardens that are so beautiful. During the Hanukkah celebration, we recall the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem. Unable to be used by our ancestors, defiled by the Romans, the Maccabees led the charge, and we had returned once again. Jews were offering sacrifices and singing psalms. We did not have to wrest this building from others. Our task was simpler: to guarantee there would be a welcoming space for generations to come. Truly holy place. This, I believe, we have accomplished. We are grateful. We are blessed. We commit ourselves to creating for our children, our grandchildren, sacred and loving community. Soon, we will come into this temple for our Rosh Hashanah, our new year. I want you to know, every year I remember the terror that I experienced when letting my colleagues know that the congregation did not arrive. When the palace closes, I will remember the concert of my life, Barbra Streisand. And I will recall the Pistons, especially during the bad boy years. This evening, we remember the past, as together as a community, a family, we create the future. Welcome home, the Temple Israel Renewed, our warm and beautiful and caring Jewish community. Shabbat Shalom.
In this house, it all comes together in this house. In this house, it all comes together in this house of God.
In this house beats the heart of a family. In this house is the center of a community. We study and we pray, find meaning in each day. In this house, in this house, in this house.
In this house is the spark of God's creation. In this house there is joy and creation. By song or by word, your prayers will be heard. In this house, in this house, in this house. In this house, in this house, it all comes together in
there is always help for those in need. A stranger makes a friend, becomes inspired again in this house, in this house, in this house.
In this house, in this house, it all comes together in this house. In this house, in this house, it all comes together in this house of God.
A house of study,
In this house,
a house of prayer,
in this house,
a house of gathering
in this house,
from everywhere.
in this house. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Jacob.
In this house,
Blessing upon
this
blessing
house.
build these walls.
in this house,
Every voice in this house. In this house, in this house, it all comes together in this house. In this house, in this house, it all comes together in this house of God. Oh, of God.
It is truly a pleasure now to invite the man who made it come together in this house, our past president and our incredible leader this day as we celebrate this room, this renovation, Stanley Finsilver. The last time you did the talk.
I get applause, nobody else does up here. That's pretty good. So, I was asked to do the announcement, so I did this before when I was president. So just remember, there's a couple things I want to remind everybody of. Number one, don't forget about the Labor Day picnic in a couple of days. And then next week, we have a dedication service to the Torah. So let's not forget that either. Now, for my remarks, a lot of you that know me well know that I'm emotional. So I said to Sherry, I don't know whether to cry that it's over or cry that it's beautiful. So I'm going to keep my tears to myself. Unfortunately, I was not able to read Rabbi Loss's sermon prior to writing this little note, so some of it's repetitive, but it comes from me. Sherry and I feel very blessed in our lives. We have wonderful family and friends and feel thankful to be able to give back to our community. You might think what we accomplished here was a gift to Temple Israel, but consider this. Every time we enter this space, it's a true gift to us. We have the nachas of knowing made a difference in the lives of people we love, and that this gift is way much more than carpet, wallpaper, and paint. The planning and design of this project was not accomplished by me alone. Hillary King and David Tisdale brought me on board together to vet designers. Thankfully, we chose Michelle Davis of Davis & Davis, who's here tonight, like was said, and is a member of Temple. What you see here tonight is the fruits of all of our labors. Thank you to Hillary and to David, wherever you are, and to Michelle and her entire staff, especially Jamie Jordan. Now to the crust of the renovation. Sherry and I committed to the renovation of the sanctuary, but we needed help to make this dream happen. Enter Francis and Ken Eisenberg. Rabbi Loss and I met with them one morning at their home in Florida, and once they saw the plans and the schedule we needed to meet, they immediately committed 100%. Francis and Ken, without your commitment, this project would not have happened. And personally, I thank you for the opportunity to do it. Also, I wanted to thank Dan and Jennifer Gilbert for their gift of the Gilbert Technology Fund. We were able to tap the fund to do all the technical equipment you see here tonight, including the sound, the video, the new equipment, and all the hearing impaired, for all the hearing impaired folks. There's wires under every one of these chairs, and if you have a hearing aid that is Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, it connects. I'm not sure it's on yet, but that'll be here forever as well. Lastly, I want to thank Eric and his entire staff. Eric Crow, are you here, Eric? He's a building supervisor. I call him at 5. We worked here at 5:30 in the morning. There's Eric right back at the door, okay? There were days we started here at 5:30 in the morning and worked till 11, and the guys that left to go home, that lived in Holly, were back here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we went 7 days a week, quite a lot of the time. It was a pleasure working with all these guys, and I'm very thankful to everybody. And lastly, I thank God for the opportunity and the good fortune to be able to be of service and to make a difference. It's truly a gift to me. Thank you.
You can actually remain standing. You can remain standing because typically at this moment we've also dedicated to all of our new members a tree outside, and normally we would have our new members come join us on the bema. We'll have them come for another Shabbat as well, but thank you to all of our new members. But tonight we would like to invite the entire Finn-Silver family and the entire Eisenberg family to join us here as we turn on page 189 and we remain standing for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו גויים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. A quick reminder as we move from celebration to memory that actually tomorrow morning service there is no 10:30 service. There's only an 11 a.m. service. So if you're planning also to be with us for Shabbat morning, only an 11 a.m. service tomorrow. Again, as we move from this incredible night of celebration to a moment of memory, we mention the names of those who have died in recent days in our congregational family. These are the names who have died in the last 30 days. Claire Abramson, Marcia Bashara, Gloria Bender, Salt Chudnow, Marvin Cohn, Harvey Gold, Laura Kozahusky, Lorraine Lerner, Shirley Lizelle, Jean Loeb, Barbara Mazer, Sam Monast, Daniel Moroff, Sylvette Robb, Saul Rubin, Leonard Schwartz, Tommy Sidlow, Jacqueline Siegel, Rose Stocker, Larry Weniker, Madeline Kramer-Wolf, Vivian Yeager, Ruth Zach. We also mentioned the yahrzeits of Frida Anspa, Kalman Bieber, Sylvia Barish, Marlene Bez, Marcy Cole-Binder, Dr. Jason Bodson, Barbara Brodsky, William Brown, Myron Sharfus, Dr. Pauline Curhan, David Dunn, Max Pfefferman, Gertrude Feldman, Wilfred Feldman, Sandra Gale, Joseph Goldberg, Edward Jules Grad, Betty Gus, Harvey Herman, Bruce A. Hillman, Harry Kellman, Raymond Lazar, Joseph Miller, Fred Nolish, Dr. Jack Portney, Joseph Portney, Juliana Ryan, Bernice Robinson, Helen Ruth Rubin, Louis Siegel, Johanna Silver Gordon, Oscar Skolnick, Bertram Solomon, Rose Sugarman, Walter Wainwright, Ann Weiner, Bertie Weiner, David Mark Wolf, Norman Zeldis, Myron Greenberg, Joseph Berger, Miriam Goldman, Asher Rosenbaum, Marilyn Remini Zucker, Harry Gorback, Molly Dorothy Herman, Mike Silver, Alex Lipson, Philip Schwartz, William Gray, Samuel Goldstein, Edward Rogoff, Jacob Siderman, Harry Cash, Carl Norden, Louis Land, Leonard Schwartz, Marty Rafel. We pray that all of their memories continue to be an abiding blessing in our hearts. As we turn to the words of Kaddish on page 199, we rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam elmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hui aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May God send peace to all of us in mourning and comfort to all of us tonight as we say together, Amen.
We conclude our service on page 202 with Ein Keloheinu.